If you're over 50 and suddenly your skin reacts to products that you've used for years, you're not imagining it. Today, I'm going to share exactly how I care for my skin now. And if you stay with me until the very end, I'll share the one mindset shift that finally made me realize that skincare can feel simple again and have all kinds of additional benefits. Well, hello, my friends. I'm Sharri Harmel. Welcome back to your next chapter. I am in the raw today, not a bit of makeup on, because today we're talking about skincare after age 50. Specifically, I'm going to show you the products that I actually use on my own skin. Now, this is not a sponsored video. This is not trendy. I'm not a trendy person, so to speak. These are simple products that I've chosen because they feel good and they are kind to my skin and they support how I want to age. So, here's what I learned at this stage of life. Skincare isn't about chasing youth. It's about protecting and nourishing and respecting the skin that you're in. It's kind of like how we want to feel about ourselves, right? My skin is drier than it used to be. It's also much, much more sensitive. Now, I'm 69 years old, and so consequently, my skin may not look like yours. My skin also, my products, I should say, may not be the products that you want to use. For instance, I don't think at 50 I use these products. So you're going to want to mix and match, and that's what's super important. Fragrances, though, minerals, and even certain ingredients that are supposed to help suddenly can create irritation as you start to move into your 50s and certainly your 60s and beyond. There was a time truly when if something tingled, I thought, oh, it must be working. Now, if something tingles, I'm very suspicious. And because of that, I'm far more intentional about my skincare than I was even back in my 40s. So let's start with cleansing, okay? Because that's the first step. When I get up in the morning, the very first thing I do is cleanse. Now, I use two different cleansers. This morning I used, which is every morning, I use the Caudalie. I think you can see it. I don't know how to do this. You can tell this, I'm not an expert at this. This is the Caudalie Vinoclean. It's very, very mild. And as you can see, I use it quite a bit. I use it all the way down. You used to only be able to buy this in France, and now you can get this here in the States. And I'm sure you've always been able to get it in Canada or Australia or anywhere else in Europe. I like this because in the morning, really all you want to do is wake up your skin. So after I cleanse, I use my red light and I use the Omnilux. I use it for men. You may find that a little bit strange. I use the men version because my very good friend, Dr. Naima Ruffin, helped me because I have very thick skin, believe it or not. We're super thick skin. So when I have gone to, a facialist or a dermatologist or whatever and gotten peels, I always get these pictures of women or men whose faces have, just peel, like they can't even go outside. Me, nothing, nothing. I've gotten fraxels, I think they're called fraxels, micro needling, supposed to get all these great reactions. I get nothing. So I have what's called thick skin. So I have the men's version. Omnilux also makes a version for women. So I wash my face and then I use the mask, the red light mask for about 1 hour. In terms of washing my face, and this is true in the evening or the day, or the morning, I should say, I use Simone France's cleansing wipes. They're absolutely wonderful. And they have specials at various times where you can get a whole bunch of them. They're just clean, neat, simple, fabulous. And that's what I use to remove the soap off of, or whatever it is I'm using, the cleanser off of my face. Now, in the evenings, I use Bellantz, and I mentioned Dr. Naima Ruffin. This is Dr. Naima's company. You can look it up, Bellantz. I'll have all the links below. And in the evening, because we've been out and about. We've got all kinds of pollutants on our faces. We've got makeup on typically, sunscreen even. You need something a little bit stronger to take all of that off. I use the Kombucha exfoliating cleanser in the evening. I found that I didn't need this in the mornings and it was a little bit too much. I use a number of Bellanz's products, so pay attention as we go through that. So that's the cleanser I use in the evening. After the cleanser, I use I guess you'd call it a toner, but this is Biologique Recherche. I fell in love with this a number of years ago, this particular company. They're out of France. And my lotion is called Lotion P50W. Sounds very technical, doesn't it? It's great. And I'm going to go through it with you just so that you can see how I actually use it. Now, Biologique Recherche has a website. They are in a number of different hotels, I believe, and they have some freestanding salons. I go to the one in Boston or I go to the one in Paris when I'm in Paris. You just squirt a little bit on a cotton swab. And the one thing that Biologique Recherche explained to me is at this age and with these products, you don't want to rub. You want to pat. How do you like that? No rubbing, no wiping, and don't forget our necks, right? You want to pat. And when you pat, as Rose at Biologique Recherche has explained to me, the product actually goes inside and you're pushing it inside your skin. So I never used to do this step until, gosh, it must have been about 3 years ago when I got a facial at Biologique Recherche. And I think it helps. I think it makes a difference. So that is my toner. That is the toner that I use. There's a number of toners. If you go onto the Biologique Recherche website, you can actually get a skin analysis. The best thing is to go in person, but not everyone can do that, right? After this, after the toner, I use the serums and I switch around with my serums. So during the day, always in the morning, because, that's when I'm feeling a little maybe drier than I do at night. I use Biologique Recherche and I have to put my glasses on. Sorry, I'm at that age. I use Elastine most of the time, and then sometimes I'll mix it, and you can mix toners. I mix it with the collagen. So what you do with the toner is, and I buy this in larger bottles and then I refill the little one because I travel so much and also it's a cheaper way to do it. I'm going to mix them today because I feel like I need a little bit more. You just put a couple of drops in the palm of your hand and then dab, rub, whatever it is that you want to do. You just press it in. And then at the very end, you can't forget the neck. Necks are always kind of second nature, right? The second afterthought, if we want to call it that. Just press it in and let all that soak in. You could tell this doesn't take me long. I am ready to roll in, gosh, maybe 10 minutes. Now, at night, I'm going to show you because I use a different toner at night. I switch around. At night, I use the Bellantz, and this is it's called Phytoretinol Overnight Serum. Use this one at night. It's got retinol in it. And as I mentioned in the very beginning, a lot of products that are recommended start to cause problems as you age because your skin is more sensitive. It's probably thinner, and that makes it more sensitive. So this is the only retinol that I can use where I don't end up with completely red skin. And red skin is not good. So if you think, oh, this must be doing something, it's really fantastic, my skin is all red, it's not. It's not. It shouldn't be doing that. This stuff is wonderful. I'm right down to the end of my jar. So it's got a little dropper. I usually put a couple of drops in the palm of my hand and then I add it, obviously, put it on the exact same way. I rotate though, because I can't use the retinol every single day. And so consequently, sometimes I use Bellantz and I'm out of it right now. So I can't show you the bottle. I just reordered. I use the Kombucha serum when I'm not using the retinol at night. For whatever reason, I don't use the Biologique Recherche serums at night. Now, Biologique Recherche would say, Sharri, you should. But you know, we make up our own minds, don't we? We decide what we want to do. After the serum goes on, then I use a moisturizer. And during the day, I use the Biologic, the Cream PTO Metamorphique. And like I said, Biologique Recherche, all their products have names that are not like Trini London, where they're, what's Trini London's, see the light and uplifting and all of this. They're very science sounding. And because Biologique Recherche, if you pay attention to any of the real solid cosmetic companies, the skincare lines in France that are not, the big names owned by LVMH and all of that, they are more science-based. And so I find that interesting. This is a lovely, lovely day moisturizer. I just put a little bit on. You don't need, that's the one thing. The Biologique Recherche products are expensive, really expensive, but you don't need a lot. And so they last. I'm telling you, they last for months, which is wonderful. So again, try to just pat if you can, pat it in. Now, I am allergic to almost all eye creams for whatever reason. Again, super sensitive. So I just do my day moisturizer and bring it right up here underneath my eyes. I'm a little puffy this morning, as you can see, and that happens, right? There's some days we wake up and we're like, oh my God, I'm all puffy. So at night, though, I rotate. Again, I rotate. It comes in this beautiful jar, which it should for the price that it is. It's Biologique Recherche's Le Grande Cream, or Crème, Le Grande Crème. It's wonderful. This comes full. As you can see, I'm almost to the bottom. And it lasts, I'm telling you, probably 4 months, maybe even longer, depending upon how often you use it. It's a beautiful bottle. It's a beautiful product. It is super rich, super, super rich. So you cannot use gobs of it. You use tiny little dabs and bring it around. If you put on too much of this, you will get clogged pores because it is that moisture rich. At least I do. So, like I said, I don't use it every day. I don't use that particular one every day. I also rotate with Bellance's, it's called Jasmine Cremicide Hydrating Cream, and it has all kinds of wonderful things. Dr. Naima is obviously a physician. She's an MD, and she has created this line very much, it's really quite interesting based on she's multi-ethnic, I guess you'd call it, Asian, Black, Caucasian, European. Dr. Naima is all of that. And she watched her mother and her grandmother take just such beautiful care of their skin. And so some of the products that are in, some of the ingredients, I should say, that are in the Bellantz line are really an ode to her mother and her grandmother. Beautiful, beautiful products, beautiful packaging, I have to say. This is also very, very rich. You only want to use a little bit, but look at it. It's purple. It's got a little lavender look to it, and it actually smells lavender. Her products, I have to say, smell beautiful. And when they come to you in the most beautiful box, always with a sprig of lavender. You just feel special when you get that. So in the evening, I rotate between Biologique Recherche and Bellantz, just to give you an idea. Now, but that's pretty much it. And as you can see, it's actually quite simple. The one thing I did not mention was sunscreen. During the day, I don't wear sunscreen every day. I have never ever loved the feel of sunscreen on my skin. When I need something, I use the Erborian. I'm saying this all wrong. Erborian, the CC cream, and that works great. I also use, and I don't have it with me right now, but it's a sunscreen that actually is a mineral sunscreen that comes with a brush, and I'll put that down below. But I use that. I just leave that in my purse so that if in fact I'm out and about and I want to add something, I add it. I'm going to go grab that for you. Just a minute here, because I think you need to see that. Okay, I wanted to mention, so I did mention the Erborian, so that you have an idea what that looks like. Some people don't like Erborian. There are other CC creams or BB creams or whatever. Trini London, when I was last in London, I actually went to Liberty department store and got a skincare makeup, how do I want to say, makeover at Trini London. Her skincare makeup line has exploded, absolutely exploded. We're talking in 4 years going from zero to about 300 million. Honestly, I'm suspicious of anything that grows that fast. And the makeover, though, was great, I have to say, because I don't know how to put on makeup. And I thought that was great. But I did not buy, I have to backtrack. I bought a couple of her skincare products, and I was not excited when I got home. It's great hype. Trini Woodall, I think is her last name, from What Not to Wear, if you all remember that. But anyways, she has great relationships with a lot of different companies, and so consequently, she can get into all of these different places. I would recommend the makeover if in fact you're anywhere close to where a Trini London is. But I have a problem with recommending the products. I just don't get it. So I use the Erborian, and this is the one that I use. I keep in my car. It's called, or my purse, I should say. It's called Éminence, and you take it apart. You can, I should have covered that, but you've got mineral. Down here is mineral sunscreen, and you just plop that on. And it's a powder. It feels like it's, I don't know if you can see it, feels like it's doing nothing, but it actually puts coverage. And that's a great thing to add during the day if you're out and about shopping or something, or, a lot of you drive and the side of your face that faces out in your car often gets a lot more sun than the other side of your face. This is a great little product to have in your purse. The other thing that I do here in Boston, because I don't have a car in Boston, and therefore I walk a lot, is I have this fantastic, I know it looks bizarre right now, but I have this fantastic little little brim that I keep rolled up in my car. Now, this has been rolled up. It's winter, so I haven't had to use it, but I keep this rolled up in my car. I bought this on Amazon, not very expensive. I should put it down below. I'm going to have an Amazon page at some point when I get my act together. But this is fantastic because it doesn't wreck your hair. And, all things are important here. And it gives you really good coverage in your face. I'm one of these people that has, though, never ever liked the sun. Even when I lived in Florida and I played a ton of tennis, I wore those long sleeve sun shirts and a huge visor and slathered on the zinc. And I played tennis, good Lord, I played tennis probably 5 days a week. So it was something that I needed to do on a regular basis. It's just my favorite vacation is not on a beach. But if yours is, you have to be careful. because we all know what sun does to anything, whether it's fabric or our faces or our bodies. It just sucks all of the moisture out. Now, I promised all of you a mindset shift at the very beginning. I said, if you stay to the end, I've got a mindset shift for you. And that is, you know, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish? Dr. Naima, I work with her on Face Fitness, and she asked me that question not that long ago. What is it I'm trying to accomplish? And really, I'm happy that I'm 69 years old and I've gotten to this age, and I hope I have, a decade or two left in me. But I want to maintain what I have. I don't want a facelift. I don't want to go under the knife. I'm too chicken, honestly. No judgment. I'm just a chicken. And therefore, I want to keep what I have. And that's a mindset shift. It's really a shift of not erasing the past, not saying to myself, oh gosh, I wish I hadn't done that, or I wish, and our skin reflects all of that. I want to hold on to what I have. And all of this is a part of me. It's all a part of my past experience and what I've done and what I've accomplished and what I've done wrong, my mistakes, so to speak, and accepting all of that. And I think our faces actually reflect how we feel about our past, how we feel about our presents and our futures. And so, let's make that a good view, a good outlook. Standing in the light is such a phrase that people use, but it's really about the light of what was and what is and what will be. So, the other thing I have to say is by simplifying my skincare, I no longer spend money on all kinds of new products. Honestly, when I was in my 30s and 40s and even the beginning of my 50s, yeah, I was up for every product you could possibly get. And today, if you're on social media or whatever, you're constantly getting bombarded with products that are supposed to make you look like you're 25. And those are expensive. It's $25 here, it's $30 there, and then, it's 150, and suddenly you've spent a lot of money and you have a whole closet full of money that you don't actually use. So that has changed also. The skin, your skin is the you. It's the outer you in this next chapter. And it isn't failing you as the wrinkles appear, it's simply changed. And it deserves a different kind of care, just like you do. We're all in this together, truly. And if you're over 50 and you found skincare products that you love, I hope that you will share them in the comments or come over to Substack. Substack is a free online writing, video, all of that resource. Come to my Substack page and share away, because whatever we talk about here, we go much deeper over on Substack. And we learn best from each other, don't we? So share away, because I am sure, absolutely sure, that some of you have products that you would love to share with other people. So remember, if you're designing your next chapter with intention, with purpose in skincare as well as in life, I hope you'll join me. I hope you'll subscribe and you will stay a while. Like I said, we're in this together. I'll see you next time, my friends. You take care. A biento.